Hello there, my name's David Gordon and this is Travelbites. Today we're visiting St. Louis in Missouri. We're here at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm here with Samantha, who's the Director of Communications at the Gateway Arch Park Foundation. Samantha, the arch, of course, is synonymous with St. Louis here in Missouri. Tell me the history of the arch.
The arch has been a part of our landscape since the 1960s, and the whole point of the monument is to help us memorialize westward expansion and the role that St. Louis played in the development and the growth of our country.
And why this particular place?
This place is so important to the growth of our country because so much of the travel and commerce for the overland explorers started here. In the early 1800s, St. Louis was the third busiest port, and people were traveling here through many different waterways. They would buy their supplies in the stores here and then set off on their journey with covered wagons stocked full of supplies, but many of them traveled by foot, and they went off to Salt Lake City, the Mormons looking for religious freedom, also to Oregon and to California.
The arch itself is a feat of massive construction, really. What sort of work went into actually creating the arch itself?
Well, there was an international design competition that took place in the 40s, and many submissions for what could have been the monument for this space. And the one that ultimately won was by Eero Saarinen and his partner Dan Kiley, who was the architect for the grounds. And what you see is this beautiful 630-foot tall structure. It's as wide as it is tall, and people can take the tram ride to the top and see an expanse around the city of St. Louis and to the east, the state of Illinois, and really just get a sense of this vast region and all the possibilities that started here.
Now, Samantha mentioned about the tram ride to the top. It's not exactly a tram as such because it sort of click-clacks its way up the arch. Isn't that the way it works?
It is. It's a little bit like a train ride and an elevator and a little bit of Ferris wheel mixed in. It takes 4 minutes to take the ride to the top, and it's 3 minutes to get down with the help of gravity. And then once you get there, when you reach the 630 feet top, is a room that has windows across the top, 18 of them, and you can peer out and see our Busch Stadium. You can see all of the things downtown, our beautiful old courthouse, and just get a sense for how the city has grown.
The interesting thing about St. Louis is that many of the attractions are free, things you'd expect to pay for, like the zoo, the botanical gardens, the science museum, and of course there's acres and acres of parks to walk around as well. Tony from Explore St. Louis explained more to me on a very breezy sidewalk outside the National Blues Museum. We're here on the streets of St. Louis, Missouri with Tony from Explore St. Louis, and it's brilliant to be here on a sunny day. A bit breezy, but we're good. We're outside the National Blues Museum. Tell me about St. Louis as a city. What, as a newcomer, what should I make sure I see?
Well, you know, we're a very historical town, and I think St. Louis was at one time the fourth largest city in the United States. It was really the starting point for sort of the westward migration of anybody going to the West Coast. So there's a lot of history in St. Louis, lots of tradition, and museums like this are just an example of some of the things that you'll see. The Gateway Arch and the history that's in there and the story that tells from the Lewis and Clark expedition and the westward expansion of the United States. We have an amazing soldiers memorial that talks about the sacrifices made by those who served in the world wars and around there, and just wonderful different attractions that really could help teach people about not just St. Louis, but about the United States and what it's like to grow up and to live in this country. It's a wonderful city to be in.
One of the great things I've discovered is that a lot of the city is free.
Yeah, we have the second most free attractions of any city in the United States outside of Washington D.C., which has the Smithsonian, some of the big national museums. So you can go to the zoo for free, the art museum for free, the history museum for free. You can go underneath the Arts Museum for free. You can actually go to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery and taste the birthplace of Budweiser beer and take that tour for free and see the world famous Budweiser Clydesdales. So there's so many free things to do here, and even the things that do cost, they're really minimal and inexpensive. So we find that families love to come here because their dollars really get stretched. Their travel dollars really go a long way.
A good big thing about St. Louis as well is the cuisine and the local foods. Tell me about some of the local things that you really should try.
Well, we can talk about some of the local things. We're right down the street from us. Maybe you can see behind me, we got the Sugar Fire sign. Barbecue is really big in St. Louis. We have great Italian food and so many wonderful local treats. St. Louis style pizza and gooey butter cake. Mentioned the barbecue, but it's St. Louis food is so much more than that. We have an amazing food scene. We have some of the most amazing chefs in the entire country right here in St. Louis who have wonderful restaurants. So anything that your palate desires, international cuisine, American cuisine, whatever it is, you can find it right here in St. Louis. And so we love our food and we love to share it with everybody who comes to town.
It's also a big sporting city as well. We've seen the Cardinals and the baseball. So it's a big city for people to come and see all sorts of sports as well.
We've got a great sports scene, from professional sports, the Cardinals, the St. Louis Blues hockey team, great amateur sports throughout the community. We have some great college sports as well. So yeah, it's a great sports town and there's so much to do. You can come to a stadium, but it's also a great outdoors town. We have miles and miles of trails and parks and great places to explore for folks who love the great outdoors. You can actually get in a canoe and glide down the Mississippi River and enjoy the Mississippi like Lewis and Clark did what they did in their exhibition. It's a great place to explore and have fun, and the spring and the summer months and into the fall, it's just a great time to come and just see everything you can in St. Louis.
And what's the website people should visit if they want to come and see the place?
ExploreStLouis.com. Everything you need to plan your St. Louis adventure is right there.
That's Tony telling us all about Explore St. Louis. We've been to the Blues today. We've eaten the great breakfast that they have here in St. Louis. We're going tonight to have some barbecue as well. And as Tony says, visit ExploreStLouis.com. You'll find what you would find whenever you come here to St. Louis yourself. Tony from Explore St. Louis telling us more about the city. If you want to find out more of where I've been, you can visit my website. It's www.davidgordonstravelbites.co.uk. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.